The Yu Menglong case reaches a breaking point. A bloody witness emerges as Liu Gong surfaces after 7 years in hiding. This time, he isn't back for a career revival, he's back to expose a desperate escape. Can you believe it? Standing in a live stream with bloodshot eyes, a man holds up a blood-stained opera costume and a leaked distress call, allegedly from the late Qiao. This moment has completely shattered the glamorous facade of the entertainment industry. Through tears, he recounted being forced into drag to serve the ruling elite, a narrative chillingly similar to the recent mysterious fall of Yu Menglong. This is no longer just celebrity gossip, it's a twisted hunting game. Who is the mysterious Mr. Wong that forced Liu Gong into a 7-year exile abroad? And what horrifying truths lie within this voice recording that has finally surfaced 9 years too late? Hi guys, it's Sean, and welcome back. After the last 2 criminal cases we covered, I know some of you have been asking, are we going to talk about the Yumang Long case again? This case has never really gone quiet. New claims, old footage resurfacing, and questions that were never fully answered keep coming back to the surface. Today, we're not here to jump to conclusions or point fingers. We're here to look at what's being discussed, what's being questioned, and why so many people still believe there's more beneath the official narrative. So let's take a step back, examine the context, and connect the dots carefully, because you never know how deep this hole goes. Are you familiar with Liu Gong? He's the singer who stunned the world with his cross-dressing performance in The Drunken Concubine. For 7 long years, he completely vanished from the public eye. Most people assumed he'd simply made his fortune and moved abroad to live the high life, or perhaps that he'd walked away from fame altogether to find peace in a more spiritual path. But recently, he made a sudden reappearance. He didn't return to a grand stage, though instead, he surfaced in a live stream hosted on a brand new, temporary account. On camera, he was completely unrecognizable. No makeup, eyes bloodshot and swollen, nearly screaming into the lens. He dropped a bombshell that left everyone stunned. I didn't retire to find spirituality. I left because I was terrified and I was running for my life. There was 0 promotion for this live stream, yet less than 3 minutes in, he had already delivered a total shock to the system. Rolling up his sleeves, he revealed a horrifying scar etched across his arm. It happened back in 2018 when he was brutally beaten for refusing to entertain guests at a drinking party. But the horror didn't stop there. He then produced a blood-stained opera costume, a voice recorder, and a travel itinerary evidence that completely laid bare the dark underbelly of the entertainment industry. Liu Gong revealed that he was being forced to cross-dress to serve high-profile elites. According to him, they told him that smiling for the guests in women's clothing was his job. Because he chose to resist at all costs, he was pinned down to a banquet table and beaten with liquor bottles until he was bloodied and broken. Sounds like something straight out of a movie, doesn't it? But the evidence Liu Gong brought forward is so compelling that people have no choice but to stop and take this seriously. The most heartbreaking moment was when he played a voice recording a message sent to him by Qiao back in August 2016. In the clip, Kimi is heard sobbing, pleading for help. Yugang, they're forcing me to sign an exclusive companionship agreement. They're telling me I have to spend the night with that high-level official. If I don't sign, they'll withhold my acting fees, and they've threatened to destroy me. In the background of the recording, you can even hear a stranger's voice barking threats. Don't be ungrateful, Qiao Renliang. We're the reason you're famous, we made you. Now, the moment we ask you to do something, you start making excuses and pushing back. Through tears, Liu Gong explained during the live stream that he had desperately wanted to help Qiao back then. However, his own manager warned him to stay out of it, telling him that if he interfered, he'd be dealt with next. To prove he wasn't lying, Liu Gong held up a pink opera costume embroidered with peonies. On the hem of the garment, dark brown stains were still clearly visible. He explained that it happened in June 2016. Those stains were left behind when he was forced to wear that costume to a banquet at a private club in Shanghai. Those marks were a mix of red wine and blood. That night, he was forced into women's clothing and made to go around the room, toasting every single guest while performing the drunken concubine on command. One of the high-level figures reached out to touch his face, but he flinched away. Enraged, the man's bodyguard smashed a bottle over Liu Gong's forehead. As it turns out, shocking evidence surfaced shortly after the live stream ended to back up his story. A man named Zhang Min, who claimed to be a server at the club that night, came forward to corroborate the story. He stated that he witnessed a male artist in a pink opera costume being harassed and assaulted, and that the man eventually had to be physically carried out of the venue by others. Liu Gong looked back on that time and said, "That banquet was actually a setup specifically for Kimi Qiao. They force-fed him alcohol until he was wasted, trying to coerce him into signing that degrading exclusive companionship agreement. Kimi ripped the contract to shreds right then and there, flipped the table, and screamed, 'I'm an actor, not a toy.' The result? He was beaten by bodyguards until his mouth was bloodied." These claims were further corroborated by a work diary uploaded by Ouyang Junfeng, Kimi Qiao's former assistant. The entries describe an almost identical series of events. During the stream, Liu Gong also dropped the key name, Mr. Wang, the chairman of a major film and television conglomerate. Due to Qiao Renliang's refusal, this Mr. Wang didn't just withhold his salary for the film Customized Happiness, he also bribed marketing accounts to spread rumors that Qiao's private life was a mess. It's even claimed that his so-called depression was nothing more than a calculated fabrication. Liu Gong asserted that Qiao Renliang never actually suffered from depression. Instead, he was systematically broken through torture. Shockingly, Qiao's management at the time, Warner Music, is accused of taking bribes to help falsify his medical records, a claim reportedly confirmed by an anonymous former employee in 2025. As for Liu Gong himself, Mr. Wang's associates came looking for him back in 2017. They offered him a deal. As long as he played ball, they would fund his solo concert tour. The catch? He had to stay in women's clothing around the clock to accompany them. They even sent him a list of incredibly detailed service protocols, which included never talking back and being on call 24/7, along with several other highly indecent requests. Liu Gong rejected the offer on the spot. As a result, his scheduled performance for the 2018 Spring Festival Gala was canceled, his appearances on various variety shows were completely scrubbed, and he even began receiving death threats. Fearing for his life, he fled to Canada with his family and went into hiding. For 7 long years, he never dared to make his address public. Even while abroad, he was constantly stalked and harassed by Mr. Spesic, Wang's henchman. One day, while he was grocery shopping, he was cornered by 2 strangers. They told him, "Mister, Wang wants you back. If you refuse, you'll have to live with the consequences." Terrified, he packed up and moved that very same night. It wasn't until 2025 when news broke that Mr. Wang's conglomerate was facing a financial crisis and his influence was waning that he finally felt safe enough to come forward. According to netizens, his confession video has already been scrubbed from the internet, proving just how much power these corporate titans still wield. Hey everyone, before we dive into the video, we want to announce that we're launching a brand new segment called Trace Your Story. For this segment, you can send us a real-life story you've experienced, from horror and cheating to crime or any other true story you have. Send us your story at Sean Virell, traceyourstory@gmail.com, using this format. Email subject, trace your story. Story title, your title here. Tell us your experience in as much detail as possible. Feel free to include any supporting photos or evidence if you have them. Optional contact, your WhatsApp number or another way we can reach you for more information. Don't worry, you can absolutely send your story anonymously if you prefer. We'll do our best to create a video and tell your experience. I'm really looking forward to your emails, and who knows, your story might be the very first one featured on Trace Your Story. Don't forget to submit your stories. I'll be waiting and can't wait to read them. Liu Gong's revelations have once again put Yu Menglong back in the spotlight. In September 2025, Yu Menglong died under mysterious circumstances after falling from a building in Beijing. While authorities ruled it an accidental fall due to intoxication and cleared any suspicion of foul play, doubts and questions from the public have continued to pour in over the last 4 months. Recently, more details regarding this case have come to light, revealing a series of overlapping inconsistencies. Let's start by taking a look at the timeline of events. On September 11, at 10:40 a.m., the well-known paparazzi Zhang Xiaoyan leaked news of a man falling from a building. By 11:25 a.m., it was confirmed that the man was Yu Menglong. The reports at the time were incredibly specific. A neighbor had called the police, 2 Rolex watches belonging to a friend were found in Yu Menglong's pocket, and the window's mosquito screen had been forcibly pried open. Despite this, the police quickly ruled out any foul play. Take note of those details: the 2 Rolexes, the pried open screen, and the dismissal of criminal suspicion. Strangely, however, Zhang Xiaoyan deleted the part about the Rolexes shortly after. It wasn't until 6:44 p.m. that Yu Menglong's studio released an official statement confirming his death and reiterating that the police had found no evidence of a crime. Renowned Taiwanese lawyer Wang Chaozhang once weighed in on this timeline. He argued that it simply doesn't add up. The fall occurred at 5:42 a.m., and by 11 a.m., foul play had already been ruled out. In the world of criminal investigation, a 6-hour window to close a case is an unheard of and frankly suspicious turnaround time.
世界上面堪称神速啊！我大概可以去，给我的感觉很像是你警察在旁边看他坠楼吗？不可能吧？
What's even stranger is the time of death. The authorities claim he fell on the 11th, but many netizens have already started spotting some serious red flags. Some netizens claim they had already seen videos regarding his death as early as the night of September 10th. Additionally, a photographer friend mentioned that a shoot scheduled with Yu Menglong for the 10th was abruptly canceled that same day, suggesting that something might have already happened by then. Most notably, a report from the paper even showed a publication timestamp of 10:34 p.m. on September 10th. What does this imply? It suggests that information about the incident may have leaked well before the officially announced time of the fall. Driven to uncover the truth, a persistent netizen traveled to Beijing in November 2025 to conduct a first-hand investigation at the scene, the Yangguang Shandong residential complex. They even authored an investigative report titled A Chapter Under the Moonlight. This report presents a compelling piece of evidence: the weather. Many videos circulating online clearly show that it was raining at the time. The ground was soaked, the sound of rain was audible, and people were even using umbrellas. However, meteorological records show that it didn't rain at all in Beijing on the night of September 10th. Instead, the rain occurred between September 8th and 9th. This leads to a chilling conclusion. Yu Menglong's actual time of death may have been around September 9th. So, what happened during those 2 days between the 9th and the 11th? Why was the scene staged to look like he had just fallen on the 11th? Rumors are swirling online that he may have been killed elsewhere and his body moved later. Even the 2 Rolex watches found in his pocket are suspected to be a frame-up or traces left behind during a rushed relocation of the body. Let's connect the dots between what happened to Liu Gong and Yu Menglong. In his confession, Liu Gong revealed that these men have a very specific and disturbing fetish. They get a thrill out of forcing male celebrities to dress in drag or wear specific costumes while being coerced to drink with them. In a shocking turn of events, netizens have unearthed old photos of Yu Menglong, originally posted by photographer Zheng Guangming. In this shoot, he was styled in an incredibly feminine way. Actor Yin Zheng also revealed that back in 2017, he was effectively blacklisted for 2 years after refusing to wear a Lolita dress to a drinking session. Similarly, Li Yitong once mentioned a notorious industry mogul who demands that young stars wear specific outfits to every banquet. This appears to be a calculated form of humiliation used as a loyalty test to ensure total compliance. Looking back now, Yu Menglong's social media from when he was still with us feels like a series of cries for help. In 2018, he posted, "Why is it always me that gets hurt?" Then in 2022, he wrote, "It turns out we work this hard just to end up being ordinary." This sense of powerlessness is hauntingly similar to the voice recordings Qiao Renliang left behind. There's one more detail that will send chills down your spine. Following the news of the fall, netizens have brought up the suspicious death of a 30-year-old producer named Liang Yabin. He passed away in September 2023. The final message he posted before his death featured a photo of a gun barrel aimed directly at the viewer with a caption that read, "I can't stand people who talk too much. If you can settle it with your hands, don't bother wasting your breath." After his passing, a shockingly cold tribute surfaced. A whale falls, and a million things rise. As you know, whale fall refers to the phenomenon where a whale dies and its carcass sinks to the ocean floor, sustaining deep sea life for decades and creating an entire ecosystem. In other words, one whale's death feeds countless others. This exact phrase has reemerged in discussions about Yu Menglong's case, rumored to be a coded message from those involved. What does it actually mean? Does it imply that a life was deliberately snuffed out just to provide sustenance for the greed and twisted fetishes of others? Internet sleuths have even dug up a years-old comment from mainland Chinese director Cheng Qing-song. Underneath a photo of a barbecue banquet posted by actress Tian Hairong, he left a shockingly cryptic reply: "There's also a killing game." Does this phrase carry a deeper, more sinister, hidden meaning? It's safe to say that the fallout from this incident has reached far beyond the entertainment industry lately. Even a well-known Taiwanese medical aesthetic brand has been caught in the crossfire. It all started when a customer, interested in a toner that Yu Menglong had once modeled for, reached out to the brand's official Taobao store. They simply asked, "Is this the same product Yu Menglong used?" The customer service rep's response was shockingly cold. "We can confirm that our collaboration with Mr. Trabs, Yu Menglong, ended back in May." This desperate rush to distance themselves from a deceased star left netizens stunned. Consumers are outraged, feeling that the brand showed its true colors far too soon, cutting ties before the truth had even come out. As one commenter put it, "I just wanted to buy a product. What does that have to do with his contract?" They were so terrified of being dragged into the scandal that they cut him off. But ironically, that's exactly what made them the center of the controversy. What does this tell us? It shows that the public is consumed by a mix of deep sympathy and pure rage over what happened to Yu Menglong. At a time like this, any attempt to kick him while he's down will only backfire, sparking a fire that will eventually consume the brand itself. After piecing all this data together, there's a heavy weight in my heart. From Qiao Renliang to Yu Menglong, from Liu Gong's sudden flight to the death of producer Liang Yabin, these don't feel like isolated accidents anymore. They look like parts of a massive, interconnected web. At the end of his live stream, Liu Gong said, "I know I might face retaliation for this, but the injustice against Aliang cannot stay hidden forever. Someone has to have the courage to stand up and expose the dark side of the entertainment industry." Well said, Liu Gong. What we're seeing might just be the tip of the iceberg. How can a fall from a building at 5 a.m. be ruled out as non-criminal in just 6 short hours? Why did some people seem to know the news before it even happened? And why have so many male actors come forward claiming they were forced into women's clothing for drinking sessions? Today, even though the official case is closed, the public search for the truth is far from over. To date, over 750,000 people worldwide have signed on to support Yu Menglong online, demanding a full and thorough investigation into what really happened. I want to open this up to all of you following this case. What do you make of Liu Gong's high-stakes confession after 7 long years? Do you truly believe that Qiao Renliang and Yu Menglong were lost to nothing more than depression or freak accidents? Please, share your thoughts in the comments. This isn't just for them, it's for everyone still fighting in the shadows. Justice might be delayed, but we have to hope it's never denied. And if you're still watching this, maybe you're looking for the same thing I am.